I'll show you something that I was looking at just earlier, just real quickly. So I saw somebody posted about not being able to do loans for people who are in the marijuana business. And so I looked up marijuana mortgage, because you can't do a Fannie Freddie Ginnie loan because um, it's still federally illegal to sell marijuana, right? Can't bank it either. So everything's cash transactions. And then this pulled up, look at this site, marijuana mortgage. This is a mortgage site just for people in the marijuana industry so they can get a mortgage, right? So I went over here to contact, right? And I filled this thing out. And I got contacted by this gal named Michelle, who's a loan officer. I looked Michelle up and their portfolio and everything. And Michelle, it appears that she works for Guarantee Rate. So Guarantee Rate is the mortgage lender for the marijuana industry, I think. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know what that I don't know if that helps anybody, but I thought that was interesting. Okay. So anyways, guys, my name is Brian Stevens. I'm here with TJ and Fish, and we're going to be talking about a couple of things that might be able to help you out with your mortgage industry today. I'm going to start for the first 15 minutes. I'm going to hand it off to these clowns for the next half hour, and then we're going to just try to close you on this and let you know what our long-term strategy is. And there is a long-term strategy. I've known these guys now for quite a while, and Fish is exactly right. As one of the owners of Listing Booster, we've seen loan officers come in and go out of this product for the past 3 years. So you hit a point with a product to where you hit a threshold where it becomes very difficult to grow because you're always going to have a certain level of attrition. And what I mean by that is you're going to have X number of people who are going to quit every month. And so for the longest time, we were at that point where if you lose 50 people a month, that means we have to get 51 in order to continue growing the product. And from our vantage point, we were pretty much, hovering in a certain area, getting, 50 of these people, or 60, 70, 80 loan officers, but then we'd lose 60 or we'd lose 70 or we'd lose 20, and so we weren't really growing. Well, along comes these guys, and they say, well, hey, what about changing this? What about changing this? What about changing this? And then we were looking at some of the changes, which kind of made sense, but understand, when a product goes back into some form of development, you have to deal with programmers. You're dealing with programmers, and I've always said the only reason why Shakespeare said kill all the lawyers is because there was no programmers back then. And so it's a very difficult process. And yet we made some of these changes, and we made them because we were looking at these guys were doing, and they were finding results with our product that we simply weren't finding ourselves. And so we were looking at these guys analytically saying, what are they doing differently, and maybe we should listen close to them. And that was basically the genesis of our friendship. And I've since gotten to know them, and these guys are really dedicated to helping loan officers grow their business. And they're not doing it based on hypotheticals. They're doing it based on actions that they've actually done. And I only use Listing Booster as one example. So the more we got to talk, and I understand where their hearts were, and it really is helping loan officers, I thought, boy, what a great opportunity for our team who wants to help loan officers as well, pair up with these guys so we can see if we can put something together that is a model that really hasn't been seen in the industry before, where we're helping each other based on your success primarily, rather than seeing what we can milk out of people. And this is not a Listing Booster webinar, by the way. Just don't want to be clear about this. We'll touch on it, but that's not going to be the push of this. We just want to share valuable content with you, and hopefully you can glean something from what we're going to talk about that can help your business, and maybe we'll stick around and we'll all get to know each other. And I think we probably know most of you guys on here right now. But anyways, that's how we got to this point. So thank you so much for showing up, and as I said, we'll get you out in underneath an hour. So if you've seen this before, just humor me for a couple of minutes, but I was going through, how could we figure out what everything and everybody represents in terms of marketing? And as we said a few moments ago, with loan officers, I think once we get what we have to get done, where we're, running down conditions, drawing docs, getting funding packages together, and all that type of stuff, which is what we have to do, which is pressing, what tends to be on the back burner is our marketing. But as most of you know, our marketing in our closings, it's basically a roller coaster ride for a lot of LOs. Where your best months are also your most miserable months. Your best months because you're closing the most deals, but you get caught up in what you have to do, and then what falls to the sidelines is going to be what you should be doing, and that is your marketing to ensure that you're not on the same roller coaster so many loan officers find themselves on. So I don't see marketing as something that you should do. I see marketing as the first thing that you should do. I don't think it should ever take a backseat to anything. If you find yourself where you're short on hours over the course of a day because you've got too much business, first of all, congratulations. But second of all, running down conditions, funding packages is something that your team should be helping you out with. And if your team isn't helping you out, then you need to get a bigger team. You know, you can pay somebody $10 an hour to run down conditions, and you, as a salesperson, loan officer, should be the rainmaker. So when I thought about marketing, I thought, well, what does everything fall? Can we build something out where everything falls into that? So that's what you're looking at right now, guys. Is we're looking at a graph which is going to encompass everything. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, on the top row, you'll see past, current, and future. So I think we would all agree that all of our clients fall into one of these three categories. Our past clients, where some of us are great database marketers. There's our current clients, those who are in the throes of actually closing a loan with them on. And our future clients, those are people who do not know us and we don't know them. We haven't identified each other. But your marketing effort is intended to capture their attention when they make their home buying intentions known by raising their hand. A future client could be something, your marketing efforts could come through your past clients, where if you're a great marketer to your past clients and you've conditioned them to where they find themselves in a conversation about somebody who's buying a house or needs a refinance, they're going to remember your name. Oh, hey, yeah, my friend Brian Stevens, you want to use him? He's really great at this shit. That's my marketing working for me. That's my past clients affecting my future clients. One of the things that we talk about a lot is our current clients. Our current clients are people who are getting a loan with us right now. I say this all the time. When you have a current client and you don't call them, what do? They call you. If you don't return their call, they call your manager, right? Because they want to talk to you. If you call your past clients or you try to make cold calls on a future client, you're going to have a variable which is going to be less than 100%. Meaning if you contact a past client with an email, with a video, with a phone call, you may or you may not get them. It's the same thing with your future clients. But with your current clients, they're always going to talk to you. And the reason is because the thing that your current clients are thinking about all through the course of the day is what's happening with their transaction. They're going to work and somebody's saying, hey, Bob, how's that home buying thing going for you? He's going to say, oh, man, we're getting our appraisal done today. My loan officer told me we should be okay on this thing, but shit, you never know. We're getting our inspections done. We're drawing our docs. We're going to be closing next week. You ought to come by. We're going to have a little party for this thing. They're constantly having that conversation. So one of the things that we always talk about with our current clients is that is when they're the most beholden to you, and that's when it's the most important to make sure that your message to them that you can help their friends needs to be front and center every time you're having a conversation with them. What I say with current clients is that if you just change the words in the conversations that you're already having with them, you'll find there's more business in there. And what we do in the industry is we usually wait till the closing to ask for the referral. Well, and then we forget 90% of the time. Well, why not set that standard right up front? When you first meet with somebody, why not say, hey, this is how I make my living. By the way, rates are fantastic. It's still a great time to buy. I'm going to hit you up because you know somebody right now who should buy a house, who's not buying a house yet, who I should be talking to. So I want you to figure out who that person is before this whole thing's said and done if I'm doing a great job for you. And then you get on with whatever message you have to share with them. So with our current clients, if we change our conversation, if we change our language, again, in the conversations we're already having, you could very simply and easily find more deals. And I think it was TJ who was saying earlier, he was talking with somebody, oh, this turned out to be great. I'm working with this realtor, and boy, we're picking up business because action begets more action. It's the same thing here. And the great thing about our clients is when they're beholden to us, people want to deal with the whole notion of reciprocity. People want to do nice things or good things for people who are doing nice or good things for them. So when you're having your conversations with your current clients, make sure you set that standard up front, and you'll be surprised at how easy everybody's going to accept this. Nobody's going to get pissed off that you're looking for more business. On the contrary, when most people are hit up for business, just like you and me, you find yourself saying, wow, this guy's really hustling. I do want to help him. So again, that's a great little strategy that doesn't cost you any money. There's nothing to download. It's just change the words of the conversation with your current clients, you'll find more business. But the point is, we have our past, our current, our future clients. Everybody falls into one of those three categories. Now with our marketing, we have old school marketing, which is going to be the door knocking we were talking about before we started this. It could be mailers, which have gotten so out of vogue, they might be in vogue again. My package of mail has gone from this to this. It could be advertising in a newspaper. It could be going to an open house. It could be picking up the phone and making those hard calls. That's the old school marketing that I kind of grew up with. And since then, we've seen what I call a technological marketing. So this is where you're going to find products like Listing Booster, like Pre-App 1003, which are the two that we have. But it doesn't have to be those. Any type of technology which helps you market. Now, the problem that we have with Listing Booster, guys, I'll tell you this right now. And this, by the way, is true for all forms of technology and marketing. Loan officers and real estate agents, they get caught up thinking that the technology is a replacement for your efforts, okay? So, for instance, with Listing Booster, we automate 90% of the stuff on there. Somebody gets the account, and then they get the real estate agents in there. And then they say, why am I not swimming in leads? Well, you're not swimming in leads because you're not doing anything with it. Now, what Listing Booster is doing, it's creating single property websites, virtual tours, giving you short codes, putting you on televisions with Keyboom. It's doing a whole bunch of stuff for you. But it's not replacing you. It's just doing part of that heavy lifting. The example I'd give with all forms of technology is you can actually dig out a pool with a shovel. It's going to take you a long time, but if you want a pool in your backyard and you got a shovel, if you start digging, it's just a matter of time before you've got the beginnings of a swimming pool. Now, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier if you have a backhoe, but you still have to dig the damn thing. So technology is going to take the shovel, put it aside, and give you the backhoe, okay? But technology is not going to replace the fact that you still have to engage it. So if you're using any type of technology, you have to keep that in mind. You have to learn it. You have to be a student of whatever the piece of technology is. And then you have to take those strategies of that technology and you have to implement them. Now, what Listing Booster does, it allows you to, rather than talk with 8 agents, it'll let you talk to 58 agents, okay? But you still have to talk to 58 agents. We're just going to help you along the way. Then the third form of marketing I call creative marketing. Creative marketing is the marketing that you're going to do where you're going to take parts of your life and you're going to make those known to others. Once again, the example that I've given a million times over is a lady who does triathlons who's out in Hawaii. And she blogs about triathlons. And that's what she loves to do. And because she enjoys it, she does it all the time with a great call to action that she sells real estate. So what happens is when people go over there for the Ironman, they already know her because they've been visiting her site. I actually called the lady up and I said, how much business do you get talking about triathlons, not real estate? And she said, all my business comes from talking about triathlons. And I thought that was really remarkable. Her name is Golden Lotus. You can look it up. And so anyways, she's become enormously successful because she's gotten creative with her marketing. Now, she loves the triathlon component of it. She loves talking about it. But what she's really in it for are those people who are going to say, hey, we're buying a house in Hawaii because we go over here doing these Ironmans all the time. We're definitely going to go through Lotus. And she kicks ass with it. So we have a very arcane, old way of marketing, a technology way of marketing, and a creative way of marketing. And anything that you do falls under those 3 categories. And you're going to market those to your past, your current, or your future clients. That encompasses everything. Then on the bottom row, we have what we should be talking about. And this is a big F up on a lot of people's parts. So when you're communicating with your clients, your past, your current, or your future, if you're creatively, technically, or marketing old school, everything that you are talking about needs to be valuable, entertaining, or enriching. Now you notice what I don't have on here is you. Valuable, entertaining, enriching you. So you should talk about things that are valuable to those who you're trying to talk, who you're trying to message, entertaining to those that you're trying to message, or enriching to those who you're trying to message. What you should not talk about is you. And this is really a trip for me because as much as I say this to people, it is absolutely remarkable how often people just default to wanting to talk about themselves. Now, I have coached people on making videos and communicating with clients, and invariably, no matter what I say, 99% want to talk about, well, wait a minute, I got to talk about myself. I got to let them know what I do for a living. I got to let them know about me. Me. Well, other people don't find you that interesting. Like they don't find me that interesting, right? People are into things for themselves, okay? Now, it's not to say that you can't talk about interest rates. It's not to say that you shouldn't talk about rates, but that shouldn't be what your primary push is, okay? Your primary push should be talking to people about things that they are interested in. So if you're going to talk to past, current, future clients, old technology or creative marketing, it needs to be valuable, entertaining, and enriching. Now, If this encompasses everything, you as a loan officer, a full-time professional loan officer, you have to have a solution for every one of these blocks. And if you don't, you have a blind spot. Now, when I was a marketer, I was great at sitting in real estate offices. I would literally loiter in real estate offices. And what I would do is I would try to get real estate agents to get to know me and like me and trust me, and then have them give me their referrals. And I based my model on what old wholesale account reps used to do, and they'd loiter in my office. So in my example, I was working with future clients because I was trying to get deals, referrals from these agents. I was very much doing old school marketing by just loitering in the office. It was me and you guys. And then what I was offering was really kind of a valuable and enriching proposition. The value proposition is I'm going to kick ass on these loans, we're going to get great rates, and we're going to close on time. And the entertaining one is we'd get to know each other. I'd ask them about their kids. I'd ask them about their dogs, whatever the case is. But I was only good for one market. You see, when markets changed and we didn't have as many buyers, and then what happens is rates would end up going down, you would have a bunch of database marketers. And that would be your past clients, where they were constantly in touch with their past clients when rates would fluctuate and go down. And now, because I wasn't doing that well, my business suffered because I had a blind spot. So you as a loan officer, what I want you to consider going forward is what is your solution for what you're looking at on this grid? Because markets will change, and when they do, you have to have an answer, because if you don't, then your business is going to suffer as well. So what we're going to be talking about today is a lot of things that are going to be inside this graph in some way, shape, or form. And by the way, at the end of this, we will certainly answer any questions for you. And hang tight, I want to check one thing here. Just give me 1 second. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Nothing's on the screen? TJ, can you see anything on the screen?
Not yet.
Just you and Fish.
So you do not see this grid right here?
No, sir.
All right. Share my screen. Hang tight, guys. Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yep.
Okay. All right, good. I wanted to check on that. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So everything that we're looking at falls under this. Like I said before, I'll just rehash it here real quick. Past, current, and future clients. Everyone falls into one of those 3 categories. You have old school, technical, and creative marketing. And then what you have is your proposition is going to be valuable, entertaining, or enriching. As I said with myself, I was dealing with future clients on the top row. I was very much old school marketing on the second row. And I was offering a value and entertaining proposition. And Elise Groves, who's many of you might know her, she was a great database marketer. So she was working her past clients. She was also doing old school, and she was offering a value proposition. So her market thrived at one time, and my market thrived at another time. What you guys need to do is you're going forward is you need to make sure that we have a solution for everything on this grid, because markets will change. And when they do change, you have to have an answer for that. And this is what your full-time professional loan officers are going to be doing. And if they know it or not, that's essentially what they're doing. So what do we need to do as salespeople primarily if we accept the fact that running down conditions is something that shouldn't be your highest and best use of time, but rather bringing that deal in the front door? Marketing is the most important thing. Well, what it is you have to become a great communicator. You have to become a great communicator because, as Jeffrey Gitomer said, that's how people get to know, like, and trust you, and people want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. Okay? So how do we get people to know, like, and trust us? Well, what we have to do is we have to be the creators of information. We have to be the solutions for people's questions that they have. So how do we do this? Well, here's one example. When you think of the internet, the World Wide Web, right? I mean, think about it. What do people use it for? People overwhelmingly use the internet for gathering information. Okay, we all do it. You do it. I do it. You know, I'm going to go to Netflix to watch a movie. I'm going to go to Fandango to get tickets to go to a movie, to make reservations for a restaurant, to get plane tickets, to find out what a car is selling for, whatever, to read an article in the Wall Street Journal. It doesn't matter. But what we're doing is we are consumers of information. Okay? Now, 1% of the people who are on the net are actually creating information. Now, if you're on Facebook and you're sharing stuff and you're posting what you're doing over the course of your day, you're not necessarily creating information, you're sharing information. Unless you're sitting down and coming up with your own proprietary stuff, we are simply consumers, okay? So as a salesperson, where's a better place to be? Somebody like the masses who is consuming information, or somebody, the 1%ers who are out there creating information? And the answer is very simple and very obvious. You want to be the creators of information. Now, does it just need to be on the internet? Well, no, it doesn't. When you're going down and you're speaking with a real estate agent and you're going to their office, what are you saying to them? You know, you all know this, but what are you saying to them? I'm going to close your deals because I'm, Fannie, Freddie, Jenny Direct. Who gives a shit? I mean, they don't even know what the hell that means. But who cares? Everybody is. You're going to close their deal on time? Everybody says that, even if they don't. You got great rates? Everybody says that, even if they don't. What are you offering these folks that your competition simply isn't doing? Because let's face it, guys, by and large, we are all selling the same widget, okay? Now, you can make yourself stand out by being nice and funny and clever to them, okay? You can go and offer them donuts and cookies and give them high blood pressure and diabetes. I mean, we can certainly go ahead and do that. Or what we could do is we could go to these agents with value propositions that are going to make them more successful. What is that going to be? It's understanding how the industry works. It's understanding how marketing works. It's understanding what funnels are. It's understanding what products are. It's understanding how to be the person to create whatever the marketing piece is that is going to be on the receiving end when anybody who's considering buying a house is raising their hand and saying, yes, I think I'm going to get a house. How do people do that? They talk to their neighbors. They talk to their coaches. They talk to their pastors. They go online. They go to Zillow. And when people, that's how people make their home buying intentions known. What your job is to figure out a way to get you and your team in front of those people, and in front of those people first before your competition has a chance to overwhelm them with their marketing pieces. And you've got great tools at your disposal in order to make this happen. And here's the real cool part about this, guys. As a loan officer, you don't have to be a great marketer in order to succeed. And the reason for that is simple. Your competition isn't that great at doing this shit, and they're not consistent with it. I mean, that's just the truth. I see this stuff all the time, and I'm not knocking anybody on this. I'm just saying in order for you to succeed, you just need to be good at this. Now, if you're going into a real estate agent's office and you're saying, hey, I'm great, I'm Fannie, Freddie, Jenny Director, you're going in there and saying, I have a way to make you more successful with your listings. I got these funnels. I have a great follow-up drip campaigns that we can go ahead and use in order to make you more successful. Can we have a conversation about that? And with your average real estate agent who's closing less than one side of a transaction per month, if you can get them to double that, you've transformatively changed their lives, okay? And if you can change a real estate agent's life, you will have that person forever. Excuse me. Feel free. Keaton's right back here, okay? By the way, go Warriors. So that's where we want to be with our marketing. And how we do that is we become creators of information. We become the solutions to the problems. And when people are indebted to you, they will, in fact, work with you. Okay, so how do we do this? And I know I'm speaking in very, very much macro terms. How do we do this? Well, we need to seek out information. We need to learn information. We need to learn how to editorialize information. It's not just what is the literal, what is your understanding of it? So you can literally understand how a product works, but then what is the end result of these actions going to be? You know, all right, you have a short code. We can put a short code on the property. We can upload it here. We can do this here. Well, that's great. No, hold on a second here. What you need to understand is people are communicating with their phones. They're not even phones anymore. They're supercomputers. That people are doing this. Even my mom is doing it. Everybody knows how to text right now, and short codes are a great way for people to engage. All you have to do is look at the damn election we just had. And Donald Trump had short codes plastered on absolutely everything. Why? Because people are using it. In fact, you're starting to see these things everywhere. So here's a great thing. When we do this and we make this a habit that we engage in every single day, people are going to respond. Now, when they respond, we capture their information. But once we capture their information, me and you, we got to have a plan. What's our plan going to be? You know, Chad has a great one called 3-3 and Leave, where we're going to contact this guy by text, we're going to contact this guy by phone, we're going to contact this guy by email in the first 3 minutes. 3 hours later, we're going to do that, and we're going to put him on a campaign to contact that person every day until he gives us our information or tells us to go pound sand. Brilliant. Editorializing that information with your real estate agents, going out there and understanding it, explaining it, teaching information to your real estate agents. Here's a real cool thing about agents. If you go out there and you talk with one agent, you make that one agent more successful, and you are indispensable in their lives, the great thing is these things called cubicles. Every real estate agent's got their little cubicle that they're working in, and if they're over there kicking ass on month 3, or they weren't in month 2 and month 1, what are they going to do? They're going to talk about their success because everyone likes to talk about themselves. They're saying, oh my God, look at this, got another, oh my God, I got 10 leads I'm running down today. Oh my gosh, things are happening where they didn't happen before. You're going to see other people poking their heads over their cubicle saying, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing differently than you were before? And when they say, my loan officer, Brian Stevens, has really been helping me out with this, it's marketing. So not only are you going to be closing more deals, but what's going to happen is you're going to be marketing in the process. That's right. So you're working with the real estate agents, or you're closing more deals, is a proxy form of marketing to other agents in that same office. And if you can get to a point where 4 or 5 of them start to notice what you're doing, that's when you march your ass right over to the sales manager and say, hey, can I speak at one of your meetings here? I've made Sally, John, Bob, Sue, and Eric more successful. I'd like to bring this to your whole team, and because I know you want everyone to be more successful, this is probably a pretty good idea for all of us. Okay, so this is where your action begets more action because you're seeking out information. You want to share the information. But the most important thing when you're doing this, guys, is being consistent and persistent. Everybody has some way of saying this in some way, shape, or form, and it's all true. You have to be consistent and you have to be persistent. You can never waver. You can't let any short-term failures affect your long-term goals. This is a long game for you. It's not a short game, okay? So with whatever you run down, and it could be anything, you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent. And if you don't, everything fails and falls apart. It's just that simple. I said before a million times, me and Frank doing our videos, why have they become successful? Because we never stop. Are they all great? No, hell no. Some are shitty as hell. But we try to make them great, but we are consistent and we're persistent and we never waver. And the best part about it is, as I was telling you with that one real estate agent out in Hawaii, is try to find a way to have fun doing this. And as my door knocker said, attitude is muscle. It's muscle memory. The more you engage in an activity, it might be painful the first month, the second month, but as you continue engaging in that activity and you're consistent, you're persistent with it, it always becomes easier. It's with reading, it's with math, it's with typing, it's with running, it's with lifting weights, it's from marketing, it's with attitude. Everything becomes easier, okay? And if you have fun, you're more likely to do that activity rather than fall out. Because when things are difficult, that's when those little voices start to creep into your head saying, maybe I don't need to do this today. No bullshit. You need to do it today. You need to do it first thing in the morning. So that's how we have to approach this stuff, guys. Okay, so our messages, again, we've talked about this in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to share it with you here. We want to talk about things that are valuable, entertaining, and enriching. Okay? So whatever type of marketing we're doing, if we're going in and speaking with an agent, if we're doing something online, if we're engaging in a form of technology, if we're speaking with our past, our future, our current clients, we always want to talk about things that are valuable, entertaining, or enriching. So what's a value proposition? Again, here's my little listing booster pitch for you. This is a great product for you. If you learned this, as these guys know, and as they've done, and I know a number of people I've seen who's on the line right now, there's a bunch of loan officers online right now who understand this product. It doesn't need to be listing booster. You can go ahead and use a competitive product, different product. It doesn't even need to be a form of technology. But as an example of listing booster, there's great resources at your disposal in order to make this successful for you. If you've used it in the past and it didn't work, I would be willing to say that you probably didn't use it the right way. Because I've got a, if I have 1,000 people in a product and it's working for 900 of them and it's the same product, for those 100 people who it's not, it's probably them. Great resources for this is the Listing Booster Users Group. But it gives you the opportunity to go into a real estate agent's office and say, hey, how would you like to be the one who's going to get more leads off of your listings rather than have those leads sold off to your competitors, as is the case with most of the property aggregating sites out there in the country. This is a message that is going to resonate with 95% of the real estate agents who aren't premier agents on Zillow. Yeah, you can actually be the benefactor of your hard work instead of giving that to Zillow, where they're then going to sell it off to your competition. That's kind of a shitty business model in my book. So we got a great line in order to go talk with people, and then all you have to do is learn the product, which all the tutorials are there, and these guys will help you out, and then go speak with agents and learn how to use it, editorialize how to use it, share with other agents, and then go ahead and take these strategies and put them into action. Here's an example of this. You'll probably see some people's names. Some of you are going to see your own names on here, but I've covered everything up so we can't see who it is. But here's some of the leads that people are getting over here. Now look at the web and text leads, and this, by the way, is old. But look at some of the leads. They're extraordinary numbers. And these are numbers that people have put together over a remarkably small amount of time. Why are they able to get 4,000 leads, 1,000 leads, 1,800 leads, 2,000 leads? How is this even possible? Because this is an example of loan officers who have taken a form of technology, they've learned the technology forwards and backwards so they can answer any questions with absolute confidence, and that they've taken this on the road and they've shared that with their real estate agent partners out there, a form of fulfillment. So again, we're staying within the construct of the graph I showed you at the very beginning of what we need to do, but using Listing Booster would be a form of marketing towards future clients, okay? It would be using technology to lean on, to help you to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And what we're doing is we're offering a valuable platform. You will make more money. You will close more deals. You will get more listings if you believe what I'm telling you is true. Now, this doesn't fill everything, but it certainly fills those three. So I want you to consider that when you guys are looking at technology. What's a valuable proposition? I was in Phoenix, Arizona recently. And I've always liked this strategy. If you've heard it before, again, just indulge me. But Yelp is a great way to share information with people. So I went and I just got a couple screenshots of shit that you can do in Phoenix, Arizona on Yelp. Now what you want to do is you want to go to, it's called events. And when you go to events, you're going to put in the largest city in your business footprint. It doesn't matter. It could be Phoenix. I live in Vacaville. It's fairly small. I could do it here. It's going to pull Sacramento, San Francisco, and Napa. Okay? But the cool thing about Yelp is for those of you who can't think of a consistent and persistent value proposition that you can go ahead and get out to people, your past clients, your current clients, and even in some cases your future clients, Yelp will help you out with that. Now, there's a lot of cool things. I mean, check some of these things out here. You know, they got their, return of the Brews Cruisin'. All right, well, that sounds kind of fun. Lots of beer stuff, lots of food stuff, but people like to drink and eat. Vino and canvas, or you're going to paint and drink wine. All right. Bubble Bash and Tempe. Okay. Now, here's the one I really liked. I saw this. And again, if you were on before 10 o'clock Pacific time, I said that I'm going to see Roger Waters with my son for his high school graduation. Who's the architect of Pink Floyd? Well, I saw this and I thought, boy, wouldn't this be fun? Lasers and Liquor Night for Pink Floyd. And so if you click on it, it's going to pull up and tell you exactly what it is, where it is, how much it costs. It's done all the hard work for you and all the heavy lifting for you. And I can guarantee you 99.9% of the people in Phoenix, Arizona have no idea this is going on, but this is going to appeal to a lot of them. So I've already got my script here. I can go ahead and I can kind of beat this down a little bit, sit back and relax, look up and rock out and listen to your favorite music while being dazzled by the, you see it over there, it's getting cut off. Okay, so you're going to have snacks, you're going to have cocktails, refreshments, you're going to kick back, you're going to see a laser show, and you're going to hear Dark Side of the Moon. Well, that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun to me. And if it's fun to me, that's going to be my stink test. I think it's going to be fun to my past clients. Now, what would be a great thing to do is get a message out to your past clients, okay? And what your message is going to say is, hey, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this, but what was the date on this? On May 26th at 8 o'clock at night over in the such and such area, they're going to have a Pink Floyd laser show where they're going to have beers and drinks and food and snacks. And all it costs is $10, so you can go out there, check out this really cool show. The weather's going to be absolutely perfect. Bring your friends, bring your family. I'm going to be there. It looks like a hell of a lot of fun. And I just wanted to share this with you if you're looking for something to do over the weekend. And remember, I'm Brian Stevens. I work with ABC Mortgage, and I can help you out with any of your loan needs, or something to that effect. And also, make sure that you share and forward this with anybody who you think might be interested in going to it. So I have a very simple, short message that we could do in a video form. We could do it in the text form. We could put it on our Facebook. We could send it to our database if you've got that organized well enough. You could do it on both. You can tweet this if you choose to. There's a variety of ways that you can get this information out. Now, what's going to make this affordable and interesting to your past clients is going to be what they like. Well, we're thinking they might like the laser light show. We're thinking they might like the idea of going sitting out and checking out the trees or the cactus in this case and having a cocktail and checking this whole thing out. Is it going to appeal to everybody? No. But does it mean we don't send it? Absolutely not. Because what we're doing, this may not interest the recipient of whoever the message is, but maybe they know some big Pink Floyd fan. After all, there's quite a few of them out there. So if they know a big Pink Floyd fan, we told them, hey, forward this to anybody who might like to go. Now all of a sudden I've got somebody in my database forwarding my message to somebody in their database. So now I am communicating with a person who I didn't even know existed. And what's happening here? I'm telling them I can help you out with your loan needs. So what I'm doing is I'm expanding my reach beyond my database. What I think is a good loan officer understands that they need to market to their database, their sphere of influence. A great loan officer or salesperson understands they need to be marketing to the databases of those they can influence, and out from there, where you're getting 2 or 3 deep with people forwarding your message. Now, is it always going to be about having a cocktail? No, it could be about anything. But things that you find valuable, entertaining, or enriching because you're searching out information, you're seeking out information, and from there you're creating content and you're sharing that with people, it's going to condition people to continue to open and continue listening to your message. And if once a week you're sending out, I'm here to help you with your loan needs, I'm here to help you with your loan needs, because that's always your call to action, and then they run across the person that says, I'm thinking about buying a house. Hey, Pink Floyd, Brian, all this good stuff. Yeah, right. Brian can help you out with your loan needs. That's the idea of this whole thing, okay? So this is a great way to market future clients. This is a great way to market existing clients. This is a great way to market past clients. But it's something you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent with. And Yelp is super cool because there's something on there for absolutely everybody. Like this gal just walked into my office. I have no idea who she is, and she's wearing a Warriors hat right now, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching that damn game tomorrow, and I am not rooting for the Cavs, okay? So we've got common ground already. We haven't spoken a word with each other, right?
Right.
See? Okay. Now, what is not interesting to talk to people? What's not interesting is telling people what you do for a living, because it's boring shit. It really is. If you talk with your past clients and you say, hey, rates went down by an 1/8%, if they're not in the throes of buying a house or getting a refinance, they don't care. So why would we consistently throw up on people about stuff that we will talk about stuff that we think is interesting, that is valuable to us, but for the vast majority of people who are not buying a house at that moment, we're telling them what we want them to hear, not what they want to hear. And you guys need to be able to distinguish between the two. It's hugely, hugely important, okay? So now what we've talked about is a way of marketing past clients, future clients, and existing clients, okay? Changing the words in the conversations we're already having, okay? Finding out things that are entertaining or valuable. Use Yelp as that. Use a form of technology to become a great marketer to future clients. So we've got ways to market towards all these people using traditional forms of marketing and using technical forms of marketing, okay? Now, when we talk about enrichment, I thought this was actually kind of interesting, and again, humor me. But when I was down in Florida, I was talking with a group of loan officers down there, and this was just recently, and some old dude raised his hand. And he goes, my granddaughter, who's 8 years old, just got up on a surfboard for the first time. I had a little video of it, because that video got more views and more likes, and more shares than anything I've ever done before. And I told him, I said, well, of course it did. Because who can't get on board with an 8-year-old kid, an 8-year-old girl who just got up on a surfboard for the first time? I mean, what person wouldn't want to see that? I mean, that's totally cool. You don't even have to have kids to think that's cool. And then you got a grandpa who thinks this is wonderful. So is this a great piece to share with people? Yeah, I think it is. Because it's not about my granddaughter. It's about a little kid achieving something. And seeing that look on their face when they get up for the first time. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a surfer. I have a 9-year-old daughter. But I think this is something that would resonate with most people, as is proven by the fact that more people looked at this, commented on this, shared this, liked this, loved this, and all that stuff than anything that he had ever done before. So marketing is very simple. Do what works. Duplicate what works. Quit doing stuff that doesn't work, right? So this makes perfect sense to me. And it's a great enrichment story to share with people, because when you see this old silver-haired guy talking about his granddaughter, you think, boy, that's somebody who I'd want to work with. I think I kind of like that guy. I'd call him, because nothing's more disarming than a grandfather talking about an 8-year-old kid who's getting up on a surfboard for the first time and actually showing a video of it. So it's a great story of enrichment. The other story of enrichment that I heard that really stuck with me, this was years ago down in Dallas, Texas. I was talking with a dude who said he, and again, humor me if you've heard it, he was going from the East Coast, and I think he was going back down to Texas, and their plane got diverted in like Alabama or Arkansas, one of those two states, in some small airport because something went wrong on the plane. They got stuck in this little airport where nobody was at, for hours and hours. And so what happened is they were pissed because they were missing, connecting flights, business meetings, getting home, getting to vacations, and all that type of stuff. And everyone's having their great little pity party. And a number of hours into this, at an airport where nobody was at, a big old military jet came lumbering down out of the sky, and they dropped the butt of that plane, and they started taking flag-draped coffins off the back of the plane. And it made him realize that his problems weren't all that big. A very poignant moment that I think is great to share with people, to let them know that, trust me, your problems aren't as bad as they could be, right? Now, I personally wouldn't have a call to action on this one because it wouldn't be appropriate. But certainly sharing something like this is going to let people know where your values are, and it's going to be a story that everybody can identify with. At least I would hope so, or try to empathize with, would want to empathize with. So it's a great message to share with your database. It's a great message for anybody to hear, and it's a great way of staying in front of people. So that's valuable, entertaining, and enriching. The last thing I want to share with you before I let you guys, or I hand this off to these guys, is I thought this was actually pretty funny. So I was putting together a presentation, and I wrote, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a video's worth 1,000 pictures. And Frank Gray, my partner, came over to me and he goes, he's being a jerk, and he goes, oh, that must mean a video's worth 1,000,000 words, just having a little fun at my expense. And I thought to myself, is there a way to qualify how many words a video is worth? Well, at this time, his son was doing videos, and he did a video. He's a new loan officer in a local market, and he's going up against seasoned great loan officers. He's not going to get business from these real estate agents. This was right around the Super Bowl. So what Joey did was, we shot a video for him. He says, hey, I know you got a lender, but they're going to be busy sometime. Let me be a backup, but I'll be like a Tom Brady type of backup. So it was making use of what people were talking about at the time, the Super Bowl, Tom Brady. People love to talk about him. So anyways, if you notice here, he got 5,000 views on this thing, 5,000 plus views. And by the way, it's still working for him. If you're going to look it up today, there's more than 5,237 views, because I snapshotted this not on January 20th. That's when he posted it. But I probably snapshotted this about a month ago. But at 5,237 views, and he said 197 words, that means people who he wanted to have hear this message, his potential real estate agent partners out there in the industry, past clients, anybody who's thinking about a mortgage, they saw Joey speak 1,031,000 words. So in this case, a video was in fact worth 1,000,000 words. Why do I bring this up? Because if you use to be creative with your marketing, okay, and use video, and use it in a way that people are going to be able to identify with, it allows you to clone yourself and speak with more people, okay? So I did a number on this, like in order for Joey to speak those 1,000,000 words, how long would it take him to do it? And basically it came out to 160 hours, okay? So if Joey were to pick up his phone and talk on the phone 8 hours a day without break, everybody picked up and everybody listened to him, and he did that for an entire month, it would have the same effect as this one little video that he did, okay? Because he had 5,200 people look at this thing and listen to his message that was perfectly crafted, and Joey was able to clone himself. So as we're considering our type of marketing, I want you to consider that as well, because it's hugely important. Again, I told you we were going to burn fast through this whole thing, so I want you to consider what we just spoke about here. Okay, past clients, current clients, future clients. We just talked about a very simple way that you guys could today, you could start implementing this stuff today. Old school, tech marketing, creative marketing. We talked about all ways of doing that. Old school, changing the words of the conversation with your current clients right now. Tech marketing, look at something like Listing Booster. Understand that it doesn't replace your marketing. It does most of the heavy lifting, and it will help you get future clients with your referral partners, okay? Creative marketing, shooting a video, sending it out to your past clients so they get to know, like, and trust you. What do you do there? You talk about things that are valuable, entertaining, and enriching. So as a loan officer, understand everybody falls under one of these three categories, okay, on each row. And you have to have a solution for it. And if you do, you might find yourself having a little bit of fun with your marketing in the process. You have to be consistent with what you're doing and persistent. You don't have to do everything at once, but you have to do things that are reflective of the market that you're currently in. Okay? We're in a low-rate environment right now. So people are going to want to do refis, but a lot of those have fallen off because people who have refied have already done it. We're definitely in a buyer's market still, but a lot of people are dealing with a lack of inventory. A lot of people are dealing with, high-cost areas. But that's what people are looking at right now, and so your marketing needs to reflect that, and you have to have solutions for it. Now, what you need to do is you need to base your success on your results, okay? Now, you have to be tenacious to a certain extent here, because if it's not working, you have to stick with it. I keep saying that. Tenacious, stick with it, persistent, consistent with your marketing. Nevertheless, it has to be built on results. And the reason I say that is because people, whenever they're looking for somebody, you want somebody to help you out, you want somebody to coach you, everybody's going to tell you that loan officers are always talking about mindset. What's your mindset? What's your mindset? That's what every coach says. It's a mindset. What's your mindset? I say screw mindset. Mindset's a bunch of bullshit because you don't have anything else to talk about. Okay? Mindset is what a loan officer wants to talk about. Results and accountability are what a manager of a loan officer wants to talk about or wants you to engage in. Why do they want to talk about results? Why do they want to talk about accountability? Is because accountability, more so than mindset, is going to get the results. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, that you are judging your success or your failures not by how you feel when you wake up in the morning and go down to the office, but rather by what's happening. Because as a loan officer, I would rather be a little bit edgy and closing more deals than skipping my way to work with rainbows shooting out my ass and not closing as much business because I've got the right mindset. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And with that said, Fish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this thing off to you.
All right. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do this without stopping for...
Oh, hold on a second here. I got you.
I should probably stand up. I got to figure out how you put the camera up on the stand, and it looks like a much better way to record than sitting in a chair.
It's a complicated process of putting my computer on the top of a box of
I've been to your studio/office, and there are crates. There's people standing on phone books. There's duct tape.
Fish.
Okay, so now I hit this show my screen.
Complicated process of putting my computer on top of a bag of Doritos. Sunshine.
Oh my God. All right. I don't know if that worked. Did that work?
Yep, we got it, Fish. Hey, man, let's go through this. Like Brian said in the beginning, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. So instead of going through every piece of here, let's shoot through kind of our action points that we're talking about. Is that cool?
Absolutely. So we wanted to talk about ourselves. Brian said don't talk about yourselves. So we are going to not listen to Brian. We're going to talk about ourselves a little. What we're trying to do here is explain to you guys what is this Mortgage Shots Kills. And Brian really gave a great presentation on what you should be doing to be better at marketing. That's essentially what we're trying to do here in Mortgage Shots Kills. We're trying to give you guys as much information, as many tools, and not just a mindset, but some accountability steps that are going to help put you in the right place to be better at marketing, to bring more clients in the door, and ultimately to have more deals. Does that sound about right, TJ?
I think you nailed it, buddy.
So what type of LO are you? TJ, you're really good at explaining this. I think this came from a video that you made. You were talking about 2 or 3 different kind of LOs. So yeah, taking inventory.
Basically, a couple months ago, I was taking a look at where I stand assessing my career, my business, where I was, what I wanted to be, plus with the different LOs that we work with, Fish, trying to make sure we're really leading people in the right direction. And after speaking with a ton of really kick-ass LOs, and we're lucky, man. We've somehow, positioned ourselves in a way that we can interact with a lot of really some of the best loan officers in the country and best people in the country in our industry. So we've really gotten lucky with that. But we found that we can kind of have really 3 types of LOs. We put them in 3 segments. One, as you call it, is the Candy Crush LO. That's definitely your term, not mine. But that is the person who is only going to succeed if the environment's right. That's someone who is doing a VA IRRRL. It's interest rates 3 1/4, paying 3 points. So it's very simple for them to do that. And hey, I've done a ton of VA IRRRLs in my life. I love them. Still my favorite loan type to do. But it's not a sustainable business model. That Candy Crush LO is only going to be successful when the environment's right. The second part is the industrious hard worker. Okay, that is your LO who works hard, comes in, busts their ass every single day. They're successful, but they're not quite there yet, right? They haven't hit that top level. You know, they want to, but they just don't know what to do, or they're missing one little piece in their business. Finally, the third one's your top tier, top producer, balanced life LO. These are people that we all strive to be, right? These are the folks that, at least from the outside looking in, have it all together. We found, though, the difference really between the second and third. Now, look, we threw the Candy Crush LO out, right? Because they're not going to be successful. But between the second and third, it's focus. Now, I know that sounds like a very simple thing to talk about, but it's much more than that. The people who are that top three, they know exactly where they are. They know exactly what they're going to achieve. They know why they're going to achieve it, and they know how they're going to achieve it. And they are focused. And it's like Brian said earlier today, it's all about consistency, right? This person doesn't stop. They follow their plan. They reassess if they need to as they go along, but they keep moving towards success. Where the number two, the industrious hard worker, we have, what's our favorite term? We'll be PC here, our shiny object syndrome, right, Fish? So that's it. That's it. So that number two LO that falls in that second category, we tend to get distracted over and over and over again by whatever the new, shiny object is, whatever the new component is, whatever the new really cool way of doing things are. We never actually finish what we started. And really, that's the difference between 2 and 3. It's not that big of a difference. So that's it, man.
So where are you at as an LO? What are you good at? Are you good at letting people know who you are, what your brand is? Like our friend Alex over to the right, does everybody have one of your shirts? Do they see your Facebook posts? Do you take inventory of what's going on? Do you write down lists like Brian was talking about at the beginning of the call? Again, do you have that brand? Do you know what you're good at? Or what you're selling essentially the same thing as everyone else? As Brian has talked about many times in the last 30 minutes, we're selling the same product over and over again. And at some point in the game, if we let our knife go dull, someone's going to move our cheese. Now, I know my good friend Johnny Fowler sent me the book. I don't know if he was trying to send me a message, but it's certainly evident that the world is changing around us, that folks don't want to talk on the phone as much anymore, that they're hanging out on social media, and that there are different ways to communicate and talk to people, and people are not as comfortable communicating in the ways that they have in the past. So what plan do you have? We jokingly sometimes call it Kool-Aid. What is your plan to evolve? Do you plan on being stuck? Do you sell the same product that you sold 7 years ago? Yes, you do. But do you sell it the same way? Absolutely no, you do not. And that's where I think a lot of LOs hang out of the past, and they think that if they just perhaps act like the industrious LO number 2, show up a little earlier, make a couple extra phone calls, that everything's going to be okay. Now, I'm the first to say that, yes, that still works. Hard work still does work. I know a lot of folks still make a lot of phone calls and do traditional coffee meetings. But there is a better way. There are technology pieces, there's video pieces, and there's a lot of stuff that, again, Brian introduced that we're going to be talking about in the next 5 to 10 minutes here that we're going to try hard to focus on in the Mortgage Shots Kills group, in the blog, in the upcoming webinars and videos that we're trying to help put in front of all you guys to help keep you in front of the curve and plant trees, not picking apples. So Mortgage Shots Kills, Brian, you know what he's got. Kian, Brian's main man. Kian helps Brian sort out a lot of the tech stuff, the blogs, the presentations, the videos, things you see going on in the back end. Kian is the brain behind that. If you've never seen Kian, he's a giant guy. Wouldn't want to tackle him, but very, very smart when it comes to keeping things organized. Myself, Fisher, here's me and TJ with Barry Habib. The one thing I'm good at is building social networks, and I like to connect with as many people as I can, and perhaps in some cases leverage friends that I know to make more connections to ultimately find folks that are best suited to my products. TJ, tech whiz, very good at understanding how to get an important message in front of the right audience. TJ, I don't know if I've said it before, but he and I launched a program called Loan Officer Acceleration, and he put all the heavy lifting into it. I just kind of showed up and was social like I always am, and convinced a bunch of loan officers to work. But TJ really understands the moving tech parts and understands how to use tools like Listing Booster, Facebook videos, Facebook ads to reach out to folks on a national basis, on a local basis, and wherever you want to find ideal clients. So we sometimes joke about drinking Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid that we have as a collective team in Mortgage Shots Kills, very, very high level. Brian talked about some of the different components of the marketing, I guess, the 9-cube layout. We want to be an authority. We want to brand ourselves by making videos. We want to offer things of value by partnering with agents or financial planners or divorce attorneys. So by thus doing, we're positioning ourselves as authorities, and we can also build systems to be accountable. Anything to add to that, TJ?
Yeah, man, I think you nailed it. Good job. It's nice when you have bullet points there to tell you what to say.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is how most of the calls go with TJ. I talk for a while, then I run into something to say, and I ask a question to TJ, and I just have him say the same thing I just said. So Brian went through some of the things that he feels is most important. Branding yourself through video, in some of the methods you just talked about are huge. Essentially planning yourself in your local market again and again and keeping yourself top of mind. Now, TJ, I'm going to let you drive here. Keep in mind you got to tell me when to go to the next slide, okay?
All right. Like I said, I want to be quick because we are running short on time here, and you still want to talk, and we all know how much you love to talk, my friend. So go ahead. Let's hop to the next slide real quick. I want to go ahead and share with folks here just some of the stuff that we do and we talk about all the time that I think can be extremely helpful for everyone. So as Fish said, I love leads, right? I love leads. I love generating leads. I am not the most eloquent guy in the world. I constantly. I'm not like these guys. I'm not like Fish and Brian that can walk into a real estate office and make friends immediately. I'm not. That's why I love Listing Booster so much and some of the stuff that comes from it, because it does give me something different to work with. It separates me from the other LOs that are frankly better at that, that are better and smarter and better looking and have more hair. But me, I love lead generation. Yep, you guys, it kills me when I'm on these videos. So, but my big thing is with the leads, so many people waste leads, whether it's Zillow leads or Boomtown or any of the other Lending Tree, Lower My Bills, or if they're generating their own leads like we do. People, they touch them once and then they're gone. So 5 things I'm really big into with your leads, other than that initial contact to try to convert them into business. And here they are. There's one, is build your database. Like Brian said before, database is invaluable. Fish, this is one of your big things right here, right? The open house email blast, where we're driving traffic to open houses. We have people raise their hand saying they're interested in a property in an area. So let's go ahead and do that, because only one person can buy that one property. But if you have 4,000 people, like some people did on that shot that Brian did with Listing Booster, why not let them know about upcoming open houses? I was in a meeting with some of my agents a couple weeks ago. They're talking about their open houses. They had like 2 people come through on a weekend. 2 people. Fish, you had your buddy up there in Michigan who had, what, 200 people come through. Now, he did a ton of marketing. He paid for it, advertised it, but he worked his database. 3, social stalking. Fish, that is your baby. It sounds bad, people, but I promise it's a really cool strategy. Fish is going to talk about that in a little bit. A lookalike audience, I'll talk about that again, but just a quick overview. A lookalike audience, if all these people have opted in, there's certain traits. If you have a bunch of people who have opted in for a home that's $250,000 in a certain zip code, that's advertising to a certain type of person. Let's build an audience we can advertise to that has that same type of demographic. And finally, a retargeting campaign. This is one that is going to work out perfectly with Brian's Yelp strategy, so I want to change this up real quick. So, boom. Let's go to the next slide here, Fish, see what we got here. So the easiest way, in my opinion, to build your database is by using Listing Booster or leveraging leads. What we always say, sell the home, not the loan, right? Who cares about the loans? Like Brian said, we talk about mortgage rates all day. People, they start glassing over. They don't care. This opt-in functionality that Listing Booster added, to me, I think is the best way to get Facebook verified name and email address. Someone has continued with Facebook that said Facebook verified, so you're getting, the Go Pound Sand at gopoundsand.com, or I think I had one the other day. It was Joe Poop was the person's name. You're not getting those because these are legitimate names and email addresses. So if you want to build a database quickly, Boom, there it is right there. Fish, next slide. So the open house email blast. All you need to do is go into your Listing Booster account, you download your CSV file with all your names and email addresses, and then you upload them into whatever your autoresponder is. It's simple. Look, as a mortgage loan officer, you have to have some type of CRM system. If you don't, you are behind the pack by, what guys, 10 years at this point, that you need to have something that you're following up on. Look, I just left my old company. I left my database behind. I'm like, oh my God, all that work in my database. But I'm rebuilding it very quickly because of some of the stuff we talked about here. Very simple. Social stalking. Fish is going to talk about this a little bit more, but look, if you have someone who opts in and you see you have 43 mutual friends with somebody, friend them. Start a conversation. That is a great way for you to go ahead and start to meet people and, again, get your message across of who you are. Fish number 4. Next slide. There we go. This is talking about doing a lookalike audience. Very simple. We get into this in more detail, and you're never going to pick this up in the 10 seconds we're going to do here. But if you're in Facebook, go to Ads Manager, click on Audiences. Fish next. There we go. Custom audience. Let's go. You want to upload your customer file right here. Fish. You can move quickly here, pal. So once you've uploaded it, you want to go ahead and click on Lookalike Audience. Once you create the Lookalike Audience, you want to find that file that you just uploaded, which is going to be all your Listing Booster leads or whatever lead source you're utilizing, and then you hit Create Audience. It's that simple. 15, 20, 30 minutes later, you've got a fresh Lookalike Audience that you can go ahead and run ads to. Very, very simple, extremely powerful. Fish, I don't know about you, but I know when I run my ads, I think I get some of my best results at my lowest cost here with the lookalike audience. So, and finally, one of everyone's favorite topics, retargeting at this point. If you guys don't know anything about retargeting, essentially Facebook has what's called a pixel, which is a piece of HTML code, a cookie that captures your information, and nothing personal, just that you were on a page. So here's a great example. So I was checking out Tough Mudder because I have some concept delusion in my head that one of these days I'm actually going to run the full Tough Mudder with my brothers. I promise you that's never going to happen at this point. But we like to talk about it. So I was checking out Tough Mudder one day. I was on their website. 10 minutes later, I'm, of course, fishing. Next slide. On Facebook, boom, what pops up? Tough Mudder right there. So they tracked me. They knew that I had been checking out the Tough Mudder website. I go to Facebook. I'm getting an advertising for it. We can do the same exact thing where we have people that are raising their hands saying they're interested in a property. We need to be advertising to them. So real quick, so our buddy Greg Peckman, who was #1 on Brian's list there, and we had 5,000, almost 5,000 leads, I think.
Yeah, he's got more now.
Yeah, because that was back in March.
10,000 now.
Right. So let's think about this. We take Brian's Yelp strategy, right, of finding out a local event. We have Greg hop on a quick video. Greg, hopefully you're watching because this will save me from having to give you a call later on and talk to you about this. Have you talking about whatever the local event is at that time? Follow Brian's strategy to the T at the end. Say, hey, and always make sure you're calling me, Greg Peckman, for any of your mortgage needs, Hancock Mortgage, 1234567, or replywithgreg.com, whatever it is.
Or you know what else? Just one more thing I want to throw in here real quickly is, when people are getting these leads and they say, well, I got a lead, it didn't convert. So Greg Peckman's got 5,000 leads. Well, 4,900 didn't convert. I don't know what it is. But the thing is that's just a very linear way of looking at things. So if Greg Peckman or anybody for that matter were to have that list of 5,000, 10,000 people, of people that we know are looking at houses, and Greg has that value proposition at the beginning that he's going to send out to those 5,000 or 10,000 people, and then says, hey, by the way, I can help you out with all your mortgage needs, okay? He can say, and if you want to talk to me in person, I'll be at this open house on such and such a day. So now he's using that list of 10,000 people to market an open house, to get his message out that he can help people. So he's got this hugely valuable list of potential future clients that he's now marketing. The problem with loan officers is they will look at it in a linear sense. Well, I got an email. I didn't necessarily get a phone number on that person. I sent them an email. They didn't respond. Therefore, it's a dead lead. Well, that's a very short-term way of looking at it. You've got a list of 10,000 people who are looking at homes, and now you can continue to market to those people, and you can do it on a weekly basis with valuable, entertaining, and enriching propositions, all the while mentioning your open houses that 100, not 2 people are going to, letting people know what you do for a living, And that will, as I said before, extend beyond that database. It'll get forwarded to other people because we're starting the video out with common ground stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point of all this. We all, as loan officers, we are so focused on today. And hey, I get it, man. I got a mortgage. I got 3 kids. I got 2 kids in Taekwondo, and that shit's expensive. But we are so focused on today that we forget about tomorrow. We forget about 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Greg has this amazing database of local people that he can market to, build his brand with. Folks are now going to, if he does this, and we know Greg because he is a great action taker, he will. He's going to start 3 months from now. He'll be walking around the supermarket, and people are like, "Hey, Greg, what's up, man? Thanks for telling me about that, because you know something? I went to the Pink Floyd tribute show, and it was freaking awesome. And by the way, my brother's looking to buy a home. I gave him your name." So that's my big thing. I love lead generation. I just do think that as loan officers, as marketers, as salespeople, we need to have a paradigm shift about what a lead is, how we work these leads, what the true value of a lead is, and then we need to make sure we're engaging and educating our real estate agent partners about this as well. Otherwise, they're going to have that same mindset of the leads are weak just because they got 10 leads and they didn't sell a house. Does that make sense, boys?
Yep.
It's beautiful, awesome. Man.
All right, Fish, let's hear it, man.
I'm going to roll through my Kool-Aid pretty quickly here.
No, you won't. I promise you will not.
Let's burn through it. Let's burn through it if we can, guys.
I'm going to burn through it real quick. Okay, so I like the traditional stuff, giving presentations, events, lunch meetings, all that kind of stuff. But I've realized that in today's day and age, it's just not easy. I mean, traffic's horrible. People have a short attention span. So what I like to do is I like to be, number one, passionate about educating folks by specializing in certain products, by making sure folks get the message that I am good at VA loans. I host Military Mortgage Boot Camp. We teach a lot about being better at VA loans, helping sellers get offers accepted. So that's part of a lot of my messages. The other thing I like to do is empower agents to be better at working their leads in the local community, because I like to work locally as well. So TJ has called that social stalking. One of my friends who's actually on the call literally just messaged me 2 minutes ago, Tim Pascarella, always used to tell me the more hands you shake, the more money you make. So if you are seeing folks opt into your listing booster leads and you're seeing people reach out to you and you're seeing email addresses, you can actually shake these folks' hands without driving all around town. There is magic in the Facebook Messenger. When you see a lead come across and you ultimately see an email address, you can plug that email address into the Facebook search bar, and in many cases you'll find out exactly who that person is because they opted into your listing booster account through a Facebook opt-in. So in most cases the email will tie into the person's profile. So when you pull their profile up, like TJ showed an example 2 slides ago, in some cases you'll find you've got 43 friends in common. Use your friends to get an introduction. Here are examples of clients I actually have closed or have in process, where I saw a lead come in, I saw an email, I plugged the email into the Facebook search tool, and I essentially started messaging folks. So like here on the right, it's a message, a friend of mine, Libby, who's a past client. I saw a lead came in, plugged it into Facebook, saw that she was a good friend of her, so I asked her, "Hey, do you know this person?" "Yes, I know him, I'm looking to buy." "Hook me up." "Let's go ahead and message him." "Yes, they're my next door neighbors." "Fantastic. Let's see if we can message them together." I did make the introduction. I have those folks pre-approved. They're shopping right now. On the left, I've got a person who, again, came in as a lead, and I met him through a friend, didn't connect with me that day, but I saw he had a Facebook post a couple weeks later about looking for a good loan officer. Well, what did I do? I used all my friends to go tag me on his post. I had 7 to 8 friends tag me. Next thing I know, the next day I just shot him a quick message, "Paul, how can I help you?" And he, of course, hit me back. I'm working with him now. Now, in some cases, I talk to the folks a little bit, and I'll just move them into a group. I'll say, "Hey, here's some groups you guys can join. I don't have much to sell you today. We started a conversation, but let's keep you on Facebook. Here's a property group. Here's a buy-sell group where I'm the admin. And, here's an example where I knew a friend of hers named Robin. Next thing I know, I'm having a conversation. We took the app." All this comes from just paying attention to the profiles, the emails, the names, the numbers of people that call in, finding out who they know that you know locally, and using your friends to get an introduction, sending helpful messages, not stalking, not talking much about being a loan guy or a real estate agent. No one cares about that. They care about their house. So That's my simple network tip. Again, I talked about being an expert. I had to give a call out to my good friend Mark Antonio Smith, who's 29, and he just wrote a book about how to be a top agent, not even 30 years old yet. My good friend GP, again, branding himself as a VA expert. So these are the kind of things that I would like to share in Mortgage Shots more, perhaps talk more on future webinars about having a clear message that you do excel at something, so folks know exactly what you're good at.
So, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Kia, you talked a little bit about Kia, and then we'll wrap this up.
Well, I was just going to say we're running a little long. Let's wrap it up right now. What I want to let everyone know is that I know that, especially TJ, you burned through a couple of things that perked my ears up. I did record this. Everyone's going to get a copy of it. And then everyone's also going to get a message from us to go ahead and join our group, where we're not only going to share a whole bunch of other strategies with you to help you out, but where you can also help each other out as well. And the sense of community is the coolest thing that I've learned over the past year in this industry, is just seeing other people who are finding success in different regions of the country who are helping each other out. We want to have a community like that. It's Mortgage Shots Kills. Everybody's going to be getting an email. So if you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, we're going to answer all of those questions for you in there. And one of the great parts about it is that we're going to have an opportunity for those who want to participate with us. You know, I said it's not about mindset, it's about results, it's about accountability. We have a system in place right now where we're going to plug you in and make you accountable. So we will set up the different strategies for you guys to implement, and you will be able to go in there and see exactly how successful you're being. It's pretty remarkable stuff. And again, the idea behind this and working with these guys is that we want to offer something that's really not seen in this industry, which is a great value proposition that's intended for you 100%. This isn't about what we're getting out of it, it's about what you're getting out of it. And we're committed to making this work, and we want to be a part of what you guys are doing going forward if you're as committed to your success as we are committed to your success. That's all I got.
What's up, Brian?
Fantastic.
All right. Okay, with that said, we'll let you guys go. And where should they go right now? They're going to go to Mortgage Shots Kills. Fish?
Yeah, they're going to go. Well, we've got a Facebook group, Mortgage Shots Kills, on the blog. They can subscribe. They're going to catch the emails, the new content, and then we'll route them over to hang out with us and be social in the Facebook group as well. So from the Mortgage Shots page, go to the far right side, correct, Brian? They can sign up for the Mortgage Shots Kills blog. So
if you go to MortgageShots.com, just MortgageShots.com, you'll see Kills up there. And Fish is going to pull this up. We'll get you guys out of here. So one of the tabs on MortgageShots.com is going to be Kills. And all you have to, we already have your information, but this will help us out, is once you go into Mortgage Shots Kills,
Kills Coaching on the right.
Kills Coaching over there. You want to plug in over here, and you want to go ahead and subscribe and give us your name, give us your email, and we'll jump in and we'll help you guys out. And we're looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. So, all right, Brian. Thanks. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
I'll give you guys a call in about an hour. We'll talk to you guys soon.
So,
thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Bye.